Hey guys, welcome back to Power Tongue. Brady here. Much love to you. Welcome back to the channel. I can hardly speak. There's like a massive global waking up happening right now where people are becoming aware of the collective consciousness to which we all belong, that we are all fractals of this one infinite creator, and that we have so much more divinity and power inherent in us that we can use to better our lives and to better the collective. So if you're interested in any of those topics, subscribe to this channel. Keep checking me out. We're always talking about this stuff. We talk a lot about the law of one, raw material. We talk a lot about mystery schools, magic, Rosicrucian concepts, like all the esoteric stuff that's like weird to talk about and hard to find people that are like-minded. We all exist here in this community. So I wanted to talk today about interfacing, because we know we're a part of this matrix system, right? Like not a technological matrix like in the movie, but a consciousness matrix, that this is all a projection of the mind. It's all like a thought form of the one infinite creator. So how we interface with that, our own UI as people existing in this matrix, is of extreme importance. And the reason I came to want to discuss this topic is because, for me, I developed this like weird anxiety around using cannabis, and all of a sudden like using cannabis became stressful to me and like made my heart race and made me paranoid, stressed me out, all these types of stuff. So I realized that I'm actually not interfacing with cannabis properly. Cannabis being a gift that's given to us for spiritual purposes, I wasn't interfacing that with the right mindset, and I wasn't interfacing with it properly. So it wasn't serving me in the ways that I was needing in that moment. So interfacing became really important to me in that context. And that goes for like all different facets of life, not just smoking weed or whatever. You can use this in any context, which we're going to talk about. So there's a relationship between us and the system to which we belong. Everything is interconnected, and we're going to explore this together in sort of just a brain dump type of way. How can we interface better with this system? So, breaking it down, what does it even mean to interface? Well, to me, when I say interface, what I'm talking about is connecting or engaging with something, either consciously or unconsciously. How we connect or engage with X. How do we engage with our spiritual practice? How do we engage with God, or whatever you call this, like supreme being or infinite creator type archetype? When it comes to interfacing, we have our UI, which is like our user interface, how we access that material. And there's also that material which interfaces back to you. It's not like a one-way thing. It's a process. It's a relationship. So in terms of me with the cannabis, and I was talking about like going through a time when it would stress me out and raise my heart rate and all of that. It's like a psychosomatic response, obviously. But this relationship, the weed reacts to me as I react to it. It's a two-way street. It's not like I am reacting to something that the cannabis is doing. It's a two-way relationship. For example, nature walks. Like we take nature walks to try to calm down and chill and relax and get some exercise and fresh air and things like that. We interface with the earth through our senses in that experience. Breathing the air, hearing the birds, feeling the wind. Like these are all ways that we interface with nature, and nature interfaces with us. we have an effect on the environment around us. Meditation, when we are interfacing with our higher self and our inner self and engaging with that large collective consciousness all around us into the ether, this is a interface. The ether interfaces back with you. This is why you can plant thought forms into the collective consciousness, which is why it's important for us to all focus on the collective good, focus on the positive aspects of life, focus on bettering society, focus on service to other, because we can have an effect on the collective, which is extremely important. That's an interfacing. Everything we perceive is the one infinite creator. Everything we perceive is God. I'm not saying we're all gods as in different deities. We're all God as in that one infinite creator. We're fractals of God. We're projections of God. We are all God experiencing itself. So when we engage with intention, when we're interfacing with God in this way, we're recognizing divinity in everything and understanding that as we interact with divinity, divinity interacts with us as above, so below. There's all different ways and all different practices of how to experience this. So do you feel like with everything going on right now in the world, people are waking up everywhere to God or whatever you call this thing that's going on, this collective waking, this massive spiritual revival where all of a sudden God's not this man in the sky watching down waiting to punish us? No, God is everything, everyone, everywhere, every why. God is I am. That's what he said. I am. I am everything, the Alpha and the Omega. To feel this connection with everything. We are all one. It doesn't matter these like little bullshit problems, like, and I know it feels like the end of the world in the moment, but it's like I'm in conflict with you, you're another individual, but in a sense you're also me. We are also one. That's the law of one. We are God playing with itself, not in like a weird sexual way, but maybe, but also like we are God playing, the sense of play to experience this beautiful creation. So there's all different ways that we interface. Like, how do we interface on this channel? Sometimes we use oracle cards, sometimes we use tarot cards. We're not, when we do that stuff, we're not like trying to predict the future. We're trying to access subconscious wisdom with these tools, reflect our current energy, tap into the frequency, the vibration of what's happening around us, have a conversation with the divine, speak to God. The Christians do this in church all the time, like they think they hear from God, and they do. There's lots of other ways to hear from God too. It's not just like a formal Western Christianity method of doing this. You can connect with God in all sorts of revelatory means. There's astrology, like an interface between the self, me, and the celestial bodies and stars and star systems and planets and stars acting as symbols and energies that we reflect on. We interface with spirit through our breath work and our meditation. This is like the most direct way to interface, in my opinion. Engage with your breath. You know your body is starving for air because all day when we're busy and working and not thinking and reflecting, we are like having short, shallow breaths that are not meaningful to our lungs. We're like, that's exaggerated, but we're not doing like deep breaths that are in and down and filling our whole bodies. Like, we have been given this gift, which is this body. God gave us this to experience life in the fullest, and we're starving it of oxygen. So be mindful in your breath work. Really fill your system. Slow, long breaths, not these like shallow, quick breaths. Like, that is not fulfilling to our bodies. It wants the slow, really mindful breaths that you're filling every aspect, that's soaking all the chakras. That's really, really of great benefit to your body. Make your own personal practices. Like, do you have your own practice of connecting with God? Whatever it is, like Christian prayer, like Muslim, Jew prayer, like whatever practice you want, and it doesn't need to be an organized religion. There's all different ways, like rituals and magic, and like you have your sanctum and you burn incense and you meditate and you contact your higher self. Lighting a candle with intention can be an open interface with that divine consciousness that is that infinite creator. And as we are all in this collective consciousness, we're all one thing, whatever that is. Nobody knows for certain yet. We are interfacing with each other, which is what makes things so very interesting. Every relationship with another being is an interface. That's an open point of connection. We're connecting with one another and simultaneously connecting with God. So we need to be mindful that how we interface with one another is a reflection of our own inner state. It's like an asshole interfaces with you by like bullying you, making fun of you, whatever, being mean to you. That's a relationship of how ugly and disgusting they are as people in how they interface. Like, I know they're all the same as me. We're all one. But you need to understand that there is a negative path and there are people that are destined to be on it, and we need to accept that, and they need to own that. So remember what I was talking about when I was talking about energy reading a few videos back, and you look at somebody in your periphery, you might see an aura, which is their energy field. You see that mucky, swampy, green, brown energy coming off somebody. Fuck that. Stay away like that. Stay away from that if you want to practice self-care, which I know you do. We need to recognize these moments of interfacing, like when we are in a conflict with somebody picked on you and you're coming back to them. This is a challenging opportunity to practice your polarity. Are you polarizing towards service to others? Well, in that moment, that's a catalyst for you to own that. How would it feel if we approached these disagreements with each other from the perspective of like, we are both God. This is God interfacing with God. What does that conflict look like? You know? These are really big ideas and we're just like breezing past it for the sake of time. But I just want you to understand that we are interfacing with this collective consciousness. We're doing it on social media. We're doing it right now on YouTube. We're doing it through shared experiences. There's global events that affect us energetically. Like, for example, an example of this is like when Trump was elected, we felt like massive energy rippling throughout the consciousness. People that fervently support him and love him, there was like a wave of love in that group. You know, like excitement and happiness and what a relief. And then the ones that are against him and think that it's a negative for the country and a negative for humanity and whatever. This group felt stress and fear and pain collectively because the energy flows through the collective consciousness. So how we choose to interface with this determines how that energy affects us. Like when everybody's being miserable and talking about like, oh, it's the end of the world and, you know, this country's falling apart. If we interface with that by letting that enter our energetic fields in an extreme way, that's going to really bring us down. That's going to really, really fuck us over mentally. The interface is always open, so we need to be aware of it and be more intentional with it. That's the point of this video. How did I be able to go back to smoking cannabis and using cannabis as a medicine? Well, it was through learning to interface with the spirit of cannabis in a more positive way. It's through understanding that I'm using this as a medicine. And yeah, on the biological level, whatever, it's going to lower my blood pressure, which is going to make my heart compensate by beating faster. I don't need to fixate on that and stress on that and be paranoid on that. I need to recognize that this cannabis spirit is a gift from God. This plant is gifted to humanity in order to help us and serve us if we need it. Not everybody needs to use cannabis. Like, I'm not trying to be pro weed here or like get you to use cannabis. I'm saying this was some crazy personal shit that I was going through. And I want you to be aware of it, to understand what interfacing is capable of if we are intentional with it. So is something bothering you? Maybe if you choose how you interface with it, you'll be able to yield more positive results, which is what you're going for. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Like, I know this was a random, disorganized brain dump, and I don't even know really why you would want to listen to this. And I know that's like weird for a content creator to say, but it's just something I wanted to get off my chest. And if you decided to listen to it, I love you and thank you so much, and keep fighting the good fight. And we are truly living in magical and incredible times as we graduate towards fourth density harvest in this beautiful collective consciousness. Goodbye.